Nightline begins now with me, Natasha Busst. News making the headlines. At least 10 politicians targeted in AI sex video blackmail scam. And MACC seizes luxury assets, including jewelry worth 1.6 million ringgit in counter-setting probe. Ten lawmakers have been identified as victims of a blackmail scam involving artificial intelligence AI-generated pornographic content. Each of them received an email containing doctored video screenshots with demands for 420,000 ringgit to prevent the explicit material from being circulated. The case is now under investigation by the police and the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, or MCMC. The blackmail emails were sent to 8 lawmakers from PKR along with 1 each from DAP and Gerakan. Among them was Communications Minister and Lembah Pantai Member of Parliament Datuk Fahmi Fadzil, who received a threat 2 days ago. Others targeted included Deputy Youth and Sports Minister Adam Adli, Sungai Petani MP Dr. Muhammad Taufik Johari, Subang MP Wong Chen, and former Economy Minister Datuk Sri Rafizi Ramli. Checks revealed that the emails contained identical wording and screenshots and are believed to have been sent from the same email address. Earlier, Wong Chen dismissed the extortion attempt against him as lazy and unprofessional, as the same badly edited screen grab had been used both against him and Rafizi. Meanwhile, Dr. Taufik said the spread of such fabricated content not only tarnishes personal reputations, but also poses a threat to public security. In a related development, Fahmi said the government is taking the blackmail emails seriously and has directed the MCMC to cooperate with police in tracking down those responsible. Fahmi said the blackmail emails were sent via Gmail and are believed to have originated from the same email address.
Ini di bawah siasatan PDRM. MCMC akan membantu sebagai agensi teknikal. Jadi yang lead ialah pihak PDRM.
Fahmi emphasized that sending obscene communications with the intent to blackmail constitutes an offence under Section 233 of the Communications and Multimedia Act and Section 503 of the Penal Code, which carries a fine of up to 500,000 ringgit, imprisonment of up to 2 years, or both upon conviction. In the meantime, police have confirmed that they are investigating 4 reports lodged by lawmakers who received the blackmail emails. Bukit Aman Criminal Investigation Department Director Dato M. Kumar said the reports were submitted by the MPs for Subang and Sungai Petani, the Kulim Assemblyman, and a member of the Senate. He added that the police are working with the MCMC to trace the email sender and that stern action will be taken against those responsible. It is time for the Arab Islamic world and the international community to unite in defending dignity, halting violence, and ensuring global security. Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim, who departed for Doha on Sunday to attend the Emergency Arab Islamic Summit, said he would be delivering Malaysia's national statement on Monday and expressed the country's solidarity with Qatar, which had fallen victim to barbaric attacks by the Zionist regime. The summit, hosted by the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, will also discuss the latest developments in Gaza. The Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission will be monitoring any defamatory or sub-judice statements circulating on social media in relation to the ongoing inquest into the death of Zahra Karina Mahathir. Communications Minister Datuk Fahmi Fadzil stressed that legal processes such as the inquest must be respected by all parties and any statements made should be based on facts.
Sekiranya ada apa-apa kenyataan yang dibuat yang mungkin menyimpang daripada fakta ataupun menokok tambah ataupun cuba mengganggu proses di pihak kerajaan, kita menghormati proses itu dan ada tindakan-tindakan yang boleh diambil.
Fahmi said this after inspecting the distribution of the SARA aid in Bukit Mertajam, Pulau Pinang on Sunday. He added that the Attorney General's chambers recently issued a statement on an individual who made defamatory remarks about the inquest. The person may be charged with contempt of court if the AG's chambers deems it necessary. At the same time, Fahmi also acknowledged the wishes of Zara Karina's mother, calling for all Justice for Zara solidarity gatherings to be postponed for the time being. The 46th ASEAN Inter-Parliamentary Assembly, AIPA 2025, has the potential to serve as a gateway for investment into Malaysia and the wider region. Dewan Rakyat Speaker and AIPA 2025 President Tan Sri Johari Abdul said one of the unique features of this year's assembly is that it will be held at different locations across the country. Exclusive interview on the Buletin TV3 podcast aired on Sunday. Johari said the program will be held in Sarawak, Selangor and Pahang. The main event will take place at the World Trade Center Kuala Lumpur from September 16th to 21st.
Jadi ini kita pakai sampang dua mata lah. Sementara kita selesaikan masalah agenda kerajaan untuk perpaduan dan sebagainya. Tapi juga komersial. Kita nak jelaskan kepada dunia bahawa kita ready. Contohnya renewable energy ke food, security ke tentang banking dan sebagainya.
In addition to speakers and parliamentarians from ASEAN member countries, the General Assembly will also be attended by representatives from 25 observer nations. Alongside the European Parliament, other participating countries include Bahrain, Australia and Turkey. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, as ASEAN Chair 2025, will officiate the opening of AIPA. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission has seized various luxury assets, including 3.2 kilograms of jewellery estimated to be worth 1.6 million ringgit from 6 individuals in connection with a counter-setting probe. 5 of the 6 suspects were Immigration Department officers stationed at airport counters, alleged to have accepted bribes in exchange for granting illegal entry to foreign nationals. MACC Deputy Chief Commissioner of Operations, Dato Sri Ahmad Kusairi Yahaya, said the items were seized during raids under Operentas in Selangor between September 9th and 11th. Other seized assets included a plot of land, a house, several luxury vehicles, 75 pieces of gold valued at about 400,000 ringgit, designer handbags, 20 luxury watches worth 100,000 ringgit, and cash totaling 20,000 ringgit. The graph buster also froze 70 bank accounts, bringing the total value of seizures to about 3.3 million ringgit. The case is being investigated under Section 17A of the MACC Act. On Saturday, it was reported that a couple, both immigration officers, had amassed about 900,000 ringgit in bribes over 4 years, and the illicit proceeds were used, among others, to open a gold shop. To avoid detection, the suspects, both in their 40s, used the names of their own sibling and child as proxies to register the business, which was set up with 600,000 ringgit in capital. In Pahang, search and rescue efforts for an excavator driver trapped in a quarry landslide in Ulu Gali were briefly disrupted on Sunday after a secondary collapse hit the site. Raub Fire and Rescue Station Chief Jalailuddin Abdul Mubin said the incident happened around 11:45 a.m. while the rescue team was actively conducting the operation. According to Jalailuddin, search efforts only resumed an hour later after safety monitoring confirmed that the quarry slopes were stable. He said tracker dogs have picked up signs of the victim's location, with rescuers focusing on clearing the rock debris. So far, about 10 metric tons of boulders have been cleared, but the victim has yet to be found. The initial incident occurred at 12:50 p.m. on Saturday when Muhammad Fazrul Ilahi Abdul Rahman, aged 30, was reportedly buried under a rock fall. Witnesses said the victim had managed to jump out of the excavator and tried to flee, but was crushed and buried by falling rocks. 3 other foreign workers sustained injuries in the incident. Artificial intelligence, or AI, has become a constant companion for many. But as we delegate more aspects of our lives to algorithms and chatbots, concerns are rising over its impact on mental health. Nightline's Nurin Razmin explores the emerging issue of AI psychosis in Malaysia.
Once the stuff of science fiction, the mental health risk of AI over-reliance are rapidly becoming a reality. Mental health professionals are now observing a new phenomenon in which individuals struggle to distinguish between real-world interactions and AI-generated responses. A recent national survey found that more than 20% of Malaysians who regularly use AI chatbots report feeling detached from reality, with the lines between the virtual and physical worlds becoming blurred. These experiences are part of what mental health experts describe as AI psychosis. According to AI specialist Amir Isham, it is not yet recognized as a clinical condition, but rather a phenomenon in which users mistake AI systems for sentient beings.
AI psychosis is basically this new phenomena whereby people are using AI in order to have conversations, make friends, and they end up believing that the AI is somewhat sentient or are able to understand better than other human beings.
He warned that this belief can be dangerous, especially since AI algorithms are built for engagement rather than psychological well-being. These systems are often programmed to be overly accommodating and consistently positive, creating an interaction that feels non-judgmental and empathetic, but ultimately artificial. Psychiatrist Dr. Eugene Kof Bunyao explained that this kind of mimicry can foster unrealistic expectations of real human interaction.
The thing about AI is that it mimics these things very, very well from how AI actually functions, where it picks humans' connections using the right words in the right order to create this false sense of connections, making it more easily for someone to actually connect to it.
He stressed that while AI itself does not cause psychosis, it can become entangled with a person's existing delusions. So what can be done to address this growing issue? Experts believe the answer lies in educating the public about both the responsible use and the clear limitations of AI.
The AI is a blade. I think today people are trying to figure out whether that blade is a long sword, a knife, whether it's a cutting knife, a jam knife. People are figuring out what's the right balance and calibrations. Somebody needs to tell them, hey, that's a knife. Don't play running with it on the sharp end. Someone needs to tell them from the get-go, get them to use it, but also guide them in its usage.
It's actually to educate people, to talk about this, and we're not talking enough about this. We always talk about how AI helps with our life, how we don't talk about limitations. People don't know that there are different versions of the large language model.
Artificial intelligence holds immense promise, but as we navigate this new era, it's crucial to remember that it is just a tool and not a replacement for human connection. By fostering digital literacy and prioritizing mental well-being, we can empower a new generation to use technology responsibly and protect themselves from hidden psychological risk. Nurin Razmin for Nightline, TV3.
Civil servant remanded over road rage incident. This and more after this breather.
Susah buat pilihan. Boleh tolong saya?
Hey, I was there. Adults were shouting, and adults of different races menyebut merdeka. Merdeka is freedom.
If Merdeka Stadium can speak, can you just imagine how many stories it can tell you?
I want everybody to come, join hands and see a really good concert.
Kisah tragis Allahyarham Zulfarhan Osman Zulkarnain menggegar negara, membuka mata dunia. Sebuah kisah yang wajib dikenang agar tragedi ini tidak berulang. Paparan ini mengangkat fail Mahkamah ke pentas Asia, menggenggam pengiktirafan antarabangsa. Jangan lepaskan siaran ulangan khas fail Mahkamah Zulfarhan 19 lawan 1.
Mangsa merupakan seorang pelajar didera dan dipukul oleh rakan-rakan satu tempat belajar.
Punca ini adalah satu perkara yang kita lihat banyak diperbahaskan oleh masyarakat.
Dan berakhirnya episod pengadilan. Eksklusif hanya di TV3 dan stream ditonton.
To mark Malaysia Day, Media Prima Berhad unveiled its Zone Lepak Paling Malaysia on Saturday. The space served as a vibrant hub for various activities and was organized in conjunction with the 2025 Kereta Api Sarong event. Malaysians from all walks of life dressed in colourful sarongs and traditional attire gathered at Raintree Plaza Tun Razak Exchange to join the annual event, which celebrated the nation's cultural diversity and enduring spirit of unity. Media Prima Group Marketing Department General Manager Junisa Jaafar Siddiq said the collaboration with Kereta Api Sarong, now in its second year, successfully drew thousands of visitors.
Sangat meriah. Malaysians are the best. Semua berpakaian, bangga dengan pakaian Malaysia. So, China pakai baju Melayu, Melayu pakai baju China. So, it's just amazing.
Among the crowd favourites was the 62 Balang Untuk Malaysia, featuring 62 flavours of free drinks supported by Air Selangor. The first 1,000 visitors were also treated to free rojak, symbolising the rich diversity of Malaysians. The event was further enlivened by energetic performances from local artists and engaging interactions with radio presenters from Hot FM, Cool 101 and Fly FM.
Di area kami sini saya rasa dalam lebih dari 2,000 lebih, tapi seluruh ni dikatakan mungkin 10 hingga 12,000 orang.
Following the overwhelming response, Media Prima plans to continue their collaboration with the organizer of Kereta Api Sarong in the years to come. A civil servant has been remanded for 1 day in connection with a road rage incident at the Bangi Toll Plaza in Selangor. Kajang District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Naazrun Abdul Yusuf said a 25-year-old man was arrested at 9:50 p.m. on Saturday after turning himself in at the Kajang District Police headquarters. According to Naazrun, the suspect's car was seized in the Dangwangi area following his arrest. On Saturday, police said they were looking for a man involved in a roadside dispute following a collision at the Bangi Toll Plaza last Friday. A 31-year-old woman who was the victim of the road rage incident lodged a report on the same day at 7:50 p.m. Initial investigations revealed the complainant was on her way to work when the suspect tried to cut into her lane and struck the front left side of her car. Both drivers stopped by the roadside, where the suspect allegedly shouted at her and made threatening gestures, claiming she had switched lanes without signaling. The case is being investigated under the Penal Code as well as the road traffic rules. In Kedah, police confirmed that extreme jealousy was the motive behind last Thursday's double murder in Taman Nona, Guar Cempedak. State Deputy Police Chief Deputy Commissioner Badrul Hisham Baharudin said the suspect, believing the victims were involved in an intimate relationship, lured them to the scene where he fatally stabbed them. Badrul Hisham revealed that the 29-year-old suspect slashed and stabbed his 28-year-old estranged wife 20 times, causing fatal injuries to her chest, neck and limbs, before attacking the woman's 30-year-old lover, inflicting multiple slash and stab wounds to his chest, back and neck, with a fatal blow to the neck. The suspect, who was arrested on Friday, has a prior criminal record for attempting to injure the male victim by ramming into him with a car last August. Police also recovered the weapon believed to have been used in the double murder discovered in a bushy area in Sungai Petani shortly after the suspect was remanded. In the 9:40 p.m. incident, the male victim, identified as Ku Ashraf Ku Shuib, was found lying face down on the road, while the woman, Nurul Nur Shamira Khamis, was found bloodied in the front seat of a car parked nearby. Madrid bar explosion kills at least one. The details when Nightline returns.
Suspek ini dipercayai telah melakukan pembunuhan dan seterusnya melupuskan mangsa.
Khalid Salvan bersama seorang lagi yang masih bebas dituduh membunuh Nur Rahayu Khamarudin.
Saya ingat macam saya cakap tadi lah, remaja hilang biasa. Tapi bila saya terdengar satu perkara tu, satu benda yang dia cakap, suara ayu menjerit sebelum dia hilang.
Dan kawan dia cakap, tak boleh macam ni, nanti polis tahu. Kau tinggal macam ni, nanti masalah. Kau pergi bakar balik.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headline.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
Tonight is movie night. Cerita apa yang suka? Contoh macam cerita makan-makan ke, macam dia ambil makanan ni kan? Tengok. Ada rasa pahit coklat. Ada rasa manis susu. Ada rasa pahit manis coklat campur susu.
Roti jangan siap.
Sedap pula macam ni. Sedap bang.
Inilah masanya.
RM1 satu gelas.
RM2?
Kau dah tahu kau allergic dengan tapai tu, kenapa kau belasah lagi? Sedap, cute.
Zon. Sabar je. Aku pun lapar, Zon. Kami faham, Zon. Kami sahut sabaran segmen tu untuk menuju ke wawasan tu. Ayuh, kawan-kawan.
On to the foreign front. Palestinian families streamed out of Gaza City on Sunday, some crammed into pickup trucks, others on foot, as Israeli forces pressed their assault on the territory's main urban center. The regime has issued multiple evacuation warnings, but many Palestinians said they have nowhere to go, noting that strikes have repeatedly targeted areas in the south where civilians were told to move. The scenes of mass flight from Gaza City came as U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio arrived in Tel Aviv in a show of support, despite Israel carrying out a strike in Qatar earlier this week. Across the Gaza Strip, at least 48 people have been killed since dawn, bringing the overall death toll to more than 64,800 Palestinians. Nepal's new leader, Sushila Karki, vowed on Sunday to heed protesters' demands to end corruption as she began her work as interim prime minister after her predecessor was ousted following weeks of Gen Z youth demonstrations. In her first public remarks since taking office on Friday, the 73-year-old former Chief Justice said the government must work in line with the thinking of the Gen Z generation.
समूहले मागेको कुरा के हो भने भ्रष्टाचारको अन्त्य, सुशासन, गुड गभर्नेन्स र एउटा समान आर्थिक समानताको कुराहरूका मागहरू गरेको हुनाले त्यो पूरा गर्नलाई हामी तपाईहरुले अठोट गर्नुपर्ने अवस्था छ.
Karki added that her administration would fulfill its duties, restore order, and address protesters' demands before elections scheduled for March next year. Earlier, she observed a minute's silence for those killed in the unrest before beginning meetings at the Singa Durbar complex, where several buildings were torched during the September 9th demonstrations. At least 72 people were killed and nearly 200 injured in 2 days of violence, marking the worst unrest since the end of the Civil War and the abolition of the monarchy in 2008. In the United Kingdom, 26 police officers were injured while policing a protest led by anti-immigrant activist Tommy Robinson, which drew up to 150,000 people through central London on Saturday. Tensions flared at the Unite the Kingdom rally, with some protesters throwing bottles and other projectiles at police, leaving 4 seriously injured. Tech billionaire Elon Musk spoke to protesters on Whitehall via video link, while 5,000 people joined a nearby counter-protest organized by Stand Up to Racism. Police said 25 people had been arrested for a range of offenses in what it described as wholly unacceptable violence. Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood condemned the violence, warning that anyone involved in criminal activity will face the full force of the law. The rally capped a highly charged summer in Britain, marked by repeated anti-migrant protests outside hotels housing asylum seekers. In Spain, at least 1 person was killed and 25 others injured after a powerful explosion ripped through a bar in Madrid on Saturday. Authorities said the blast occurred at the Mis Tesoros bar in the Puente de Vallecas district around 3 p.m. local time. Rescue teams discovered the body of a man early Sunday during searches conducted by firefighters and police. Emergency services reported that 2 of the victims are in serious condition, while 3 more are potentially serious. All of the injured were taken to nearby hospitals. Officials said the cause was a gas explosion, but said they are still unable to determine the type of gas and the source of the leak or the exact point of origin. On to sports now and motor racing. Malaysia's rising star Qabil Irfan Azlan has sealed the Spanish Superbike Championship ESBK Talent Series title with 1 round to spare after clinching his second race win of the weekend in Estoril on Sunday. The 13-year-old was near flawless, taking the checkered flag with ease. Oliver Cantos finished second, just under 3 seconds behind, while Izan Rodriguez completed the podium. Qabil had already dominated race 1 on Saturday, finishing more than 14 seconds ahead of Enzo Zaragoza. The back-to-back victories handed him an unassailable 252-point lead in the series. Meanwhile, fellow Malaysian Hakim Danish Ramli endured heartbreak in the Red Bull Rookies Cup at Misano. The 18-year-old was in the leading pack after starting 6th, but crashed out with 7 laps to go in race 2. The incident ended his hopes of finishing runner-up, leaving him 3rd overall on 171 points behind champion Brian Uriarte on 236 and Veda Pratama on 181. Moving on to football and the Malaysia FA Cup. 2 more matches took place on Sunday night. Kuala Lumpur City FC crashed out after losing 2-3 on aggregate to Kelantan, the Real Warriors. Meanwhile, at the Sarawak Stadium, Kuching City FC lived up to expectations to advance into the last 8 after thrashing Brunei DPMM FC 7-1 in the second leg for a 9-4 aggregate win. Ronald Ngau Wanja struck inside the first minute before adding 2 more goals to complete his hat-trick. Daniel Asri bagged a brace while Ramadan Saifullah and substitute Joel Pedro also found the net. DPMM reduced to 10 men in the first half, replied through Ramadan Sananta, but it was no match for the ruthless hosts. The result marks Kuching City's historic first appearance in the FA Cup quarterfinals. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at 25 tram driving teams from around the world competing in the first ever Tram Driver World Championship in Vienna, Austria. With that, I'm Natasha. Busst. Thank you for watching and stay safe.